friends, welcome back to my channel. This is LA Life, a channel about my faith, family, food, and fitness. And I'm just so excited for today's topic. I kind of took a break, or more like readjusted my posting schedule to twice a month just to give myself time with school and to finish strong. Are these certain diets a fad or forever plan? I personally do not like diets because I don't like restrictions on what I can eat. I know a lot of people don't, and that's the hardest thing, but it doesn't mean I don't watch what I eat and I don't plan things out and I focus on certain food groups versus other ones. So it's all about figuring out what your body needs to reduce the fat, burn calories, and gain muscle the fastest, if that's your goal. I want my body to be able to get sources from all different types of foods in the right way. Okay, the first one is keto, the keto diet, ketogenic, however you want to name it. I have heard a lot about this one recently, and I don't know if it's like a fading fad or maybe it's still around and people are just really curious about the health benefits or how it might affect them negatively. I know that it is focused on burning the fat in your body first. So in order to do that, you kind of have to isolate it in a way of eating most fats and a good amount of protein and very low carb. You can have like a certain amount of grams per day. So in a way it's calorie counting or macro counting. If people are doing it right, they should be getting the right fats in their body to be able to use that as fuel. But there is a wrong way about it, and you can still gain a lot of weight through it. But I've also heard it's a good short-term diet that might not have as many health effects in a bad way if you're doing it for short term. I want to be careful when you go back onto a normal plan or another way of eating because it's easy to gain it all back. So that is important to be aware of. And I know scientifically there's a lot going on in your body, whether good or bad, I'm not sure. I know you have a limited amount of veggies and fruits you can have. Like I know you can have a lot of green vegetables, and berries are really the best for your nutrients and probiotics, etc. But they want you to stay away from like the starchy vegetables and sugary fruits. And recently I heard that the Atkins food company that sells like the frozen meal plans, Atkins, I've never tried them, and maybe they have other products that I don't know about, but I've heard that is kind of consistent with the keto diet, and maybe people are just now linking the two together and saying, oh, like that could be the solution, like to meal prepping. Like, okay, so the next, so to speak, fad diet, or maybe it's a forever thing, I don't know. I'll just tell you, it's paleo, the Paleolithic, or referred to as the Stone Age diet, because we're kind of aging it back to how they used to do it in that time and what resources they had available, and what things really didn't come about or weren't produced as much in quantity, and sometimes losing the quality. Now in modern times, we're avoiding those same foods that they didn't have available at their time. So I guess it's come back, or maybe it's always been around and some people have just stuck to what they know. Paleo is kind of new to me, and a lot of people link it to the Mediterranean diet, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. But basically the paleo diet is focused on lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So really you're avoiding dairy, grains, and legumes. It's a preference diet. It might be because they have to. They have certain allergies to other foods. It can be a great thing. It most likely can be a long-term dietary plan that people follow, and they might see health benefits and if they stick to it for a long time or forever. The issue with the paleo diet might be that the whole grains that you are able to eat have certain, like, a lot of fiber in it, or other legumes might have nutrients. So there are always substitutions, and I think Paleolithic people are trying to figure that out and try to find ways to sustain that in their diet and go without those other types of foods that they don't think they need. So I don't know if I'll ever try paleo. Now I will tell you, I have a paleo sweets book, and people ask me to this day, hey, like, are you paleo? Like, why do you have that book? Basically, I'm a discount junkie, so it was discounted and it was new and it was fresh, and I saw it on the internet. So anything on the internet, I'm like, ooh, I gotta try, which might not be a good thing, but I'm just saying that's what I do. If you're sticking with this diet, definitely recommend getting this if you're a sweetaholic or you just need to substitute those crazy processed sugar sweets into something great. So like I said, the paleo diet might be compared to the Mediterranean diet, and I would say they are pretty similar as far as like clean foods, focusing on lean meats and fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. But two main differences is they do want you to have some dairy, and certain dairy, like certain cheeses and yogurt, to get those probiotics and the nutrients that you might be lacking from the paleo diet. So that's smart that they kind of figured out a way. And it also will include whole grains, which is so awesome. I feel like people need whole grains, and people just want to get rid of carbs altogether, and I personally don't agree with that. I love quinoa. Your body can benefit from them. But people might have to do paleo, or they prefer that, and that's fine. But I've also seen, just from research, that the Mediterranean diet might be the #1 right now, recommended and referred by certain doctors. I feel like once I'm done with school and I get more of a consistent work schedule and just at home schedule, being at home at the same time every day, and I can meal prep and all, I feel like my diet and my plan will closely relate to the Mediterranean. Alright, and the last, so to speak, diet, which people are saying it's not a diet, and I agree, it's not really, but I want to include it in this video just because of how much is being talked about right now, and YouTubers are talking about, explaining in detail. It's intermittent fasting, and I have tried this about twice since I've known about it, and I'm trying to implement it daily because I just think it's something, because it's not a short-term thing, it can be implemented into your daily meal planning and having a certain amount of time where you're not eating, and then a window of time where you are eating. So for instance, most average times that people go without is like 14 to 16, and they always say like, take it easy at first, like start with 12, and I'm currently on 12 because I haven't been consistent with it enough to say, alright, I'm ready to go without food for 14 hours. But the main advantage with your hours is you can plan it whenever, and you can take advantage of your sleep time. So really that knocks out 8 hours if you're getting a good 8 hours of sleep, and that leaves you with 4 left for not eating. So whether that's stop eating earlier in the evening at like 7 o'clock, which I've been trying to do around 9ish, just because my schedule, I have to eat late sometimes. And then I don't eat until 9 a.m., so that's 12 hours. And it works for me. On most days, I'm fine. I can go, honestly, I don't even notice I'm doing it, but I feel like it's been reducing my bloating and certain things that are going on, and it gives my body enough time to process and do its recovering overnight. Really, the main thing with intermittent fasting, it becomes not about what you eat as much as when you eat it, which can put a lot of negative impact on the diet or the plan, because people just take that window of time, whether it's 6 or 8 hours, and they go crazy. And I feel like you have to be more aware that you do still need the same amount of calories if you are working out and burning fat. It is said to improve or drop your insulin level, and this plays a certain scientific role in our bodies that I can't really explain to you, so go do your research. But it's very easy to spike your insulin after you haven't been eating for so long, to where your metabolism starts burning whatever food you first processed or processing throughout the day. The first meal after you break your fast, I feel like, is the most important meal of the day. So even though it's not about what you eat, if you're trying to do it right and feel good and have energy, then you should be caring about what you're putting in. It also adjusts your hormone level for weight loss and muscle gain. I think that's why they say it's hard for women to do the fast. Not that they can't, but because our hormones are so sensitive anyway, that this can get them kind of out of whack and not in a normal level. Talk to your doctors or get permission before you do it, especially if you're pregnant or something. You want to make sure that with any diet, you really want to make sure you're doing the right things and not assume that it's okay just because the media tells you it's okay. So I've kind of told you about the main fad diets or meal plans that are kind of fads right now in society. Let me know if there's anything else that I'm missing, or if you want me to go into more of the other ones that people are talking about that maybe I don't even know about or that I've missed or can kind of further go into. So comment below on that and we can start a discussion for my next video. I want to sum it up to say that everything in moderation. That goes with anything in life pretty much, but especially with food, because no matter what diet plan you are sticking to, you can take it overboard and you cannot see any results. And if you're trying and you're making an effort, you should see results, and you should start to notice how your body is reacting, whether better or worse. And also, I want to say about the Paleo Sweets book, they did, the author Kelsey Ale came out with a keto sweets. If you're interested in that, I will link both books below so you have access to it. And if you want to see more of my videos on my channel and see what I'm about, subscribe to me and check out my latest video on my channel. And I really appreciate y'all taking your time and watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!